Hi, I am Jess Hunt, and welcome to Hey Parents, Let's Chat. Today I'm going to be talking with my friend Lisa about how we can survive that parenting journey with twins. And we're going to have three different videos, one for babies and toddlers, one for school age years, and one for those teen years. And so for today, we're going to focus on those baby and toddler years. And she has some great advice, so I hope you find it helpful. Hi, I am sitting with my friend Lisa, and as you can see, we are out in a beautiful spot out on the lake. This is essentially Lisa's second home. This is where she spends most of her time in the summertime.
That's correct.
And so we're going to talk today about how to survive life with twins. And for this video, we're going to be focusing on the baby and the toddler years, which I know, wow, I can't even imagine. So before we even begin, can you just do a little quick introduction, let the viewers know?
My name is Lisa, and I'm a mother of twins. I was very lucky to stay home with my twins until they were at 13 years old, so I was a stay-at-home mom, which I thoroughly enjoyed and I thoroughly needed to get out of sometimes.
That's legit for any stay-at-home mom.
Yes.
I did that as well for a couple of years, and yeah, sometimes you do need a break from that.
And then when they became their early teens, I started to work, and the rest is history. Now they're off in college.
So how old are they now?
They turned 19 today.
Oh, happy birthday to them.
Happy
That is
birthday.
very special. That's very cool. So, clearly, they're 19, off into college. You've had plenty of experience. Now,
Yes.
so for this video is we're going to focus on, like, babies and toddler years. Like, let's dial back a little bit into our brains and remember, like, way back when. And, like, what was it like? Let's just actually talk pregnancy and labor.
I'm going to tell you about pregnancy. Pregnancy was a little bit difficult. One of the twins had a growth issue, so we were always trying to make sure that he was growing at a proper rate. I did deliver at 35 weeks, which is, just shy of the 36 weeks for twins. But I do, what really struck me during my pregnancy as they were, I started to feel them inside me. I was able to differentiate them inside me, and
Really?
they came out with the personality that they had
No,
inside.
sir, you're kidding me.
My daughter was constantly moving, constantly had something going on in there, and my son slept till 9 p.m. And if I put a book on my belly, he'd kick, and I knew he was okay. And he's so laid back now.
Really?
Yes.
That is so cool.
It was really cool. I really enjoyed that portion of it, but it was a very worrisome pregnancy. And the delivery was not great either. I was just about to have my daughter vaginally. That did not happen because my son's heartbeat dropped, and I was rushing for an emergency C-section.
Oh.
So definitely everything came out fine. My son was small, 3 pounds 15 ounces, and my daughter was 5'11", so there was a discrepancy there. But they came out. They were very healthy. My daughter came home with me. My son stayed a couple extra days, and then my journey as a mother of twins began.
And I cannot even imagine. Like, that has got to be just an amazing challenge. Number one, you're like recovering from the delivery, but
Right.
now you're transitioning to being a mom with two. And I remember when my daughter came home, I already had one at home, so I had two children, but my goodness, they were different ages, different needs.
Right.
And so, like, I can't even wrap my brain around, like, what it would be like to have to do everything twice.
Correct.
And so, like, how did you even survive? Did you get any sleep at all?
I did not get any sleep. I honestly don't remember a lot of it. The first 3 months were just I was a robot. Nothing but a robot. That's really what it is. And unfortunately, I missed some bonding time, I feel, or maybe I didn't, with both of my children because I became a robot, breastfeeding, and then supplementing as well. Once you fed one child, you changed that child, you got the other child, you did the exact same thing, and then the other child's crying again, so you kind of go back and do the same thing. So your nights, those 2-hour feedings end up to be an hour and 10 minutes each, and then you sleep for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and one's back up again. So, and I didn't have a lot of help do have to say there were some times where I was pulling my hair out, and lack of sleep definitely does a number.
So I have a question about their sleeping, and I'm going to apologize because there are boats. We are on a lake,
Yes,
and
we
so
are.
you're probably going to hear motorboats like going around us, and so hopefully you can still hear our voices. But it's really hard to pass up being on a boat on such an absolutely gorgeous day.
True.
So when we talk about sleeping, like, it sounds like you fed them, then they slept, and you fed the other. So like, how did you ever work out getting them on the same sleeping pattern? So perhaps like the three of you could actually fall asleep at the same
true.
time. Like, how do you
So
even?
yeah, I mean, as they go over, that time of where they were being fed was extended a bit, and I do have to say, my daughter was more needier than my son, so I kind of adjusted the schedule around her, and so he started to feed a little bit more, and then as they grew older, by 6 months, my children really were sleeping from maybe 10 to 6 a.m.
Wow.
And that worked out really well. So we really started at that time, and I really am going to stress this. That's the time when we started a routine.
So you had to just survive until like the first 6 months,
And then
survival mode, and then
a routine, and then once that routine became started, we stuck to that routine no matter what, and they thrived.
So I sort of feel like looking back at my own kids as babies, 6 months is a really good time, isn't it? Because
I think so.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah. I think the 6 months of the napping in the afternoon, the bedtime at a specific time, and my kids went back and forth from 2 different homes as well, and they were lucky for that. But they were in bed at whatever house they were in at 7 p.m. And that continued throughout pretty much their whole lives, and they actually still thrive on a routine.
Yeah, I actually think that all kids do. And I think that there are some parents that are less structured, and that's fine. That's their style, because I think everyone parents to their own personality. But I think that regardless of age, whether it's babies, toddlers, school age, teenagers, kids, they all just need routine and structure, because with that consistency, they know what to expect, they recognize the pattern, they feel more secure. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's really what it is. I think that routine and that pattern, there's a security involved in that, and they know something's coming that they're looking forward to, although as they get older, they don't think so.
Of course, because they know everything.
Right.
We'll get to that video soon.
But yes, that is really what saved me. Everything in their life was a routine, and as we're going into the toddler years now, into, we had the 6 months to a year to 1 to 3 years, they knew what their routines were, they knew when their playtime was, they knew when certain things were, and they thrived on it. And I do think that children do need that, and my children definitely needed it and wanted it.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. And I have to just ask, were you the kind of mom that, dressed the kids the same? You clearly had a boy and a girl. And I know that some moms, think that's adorable. They love it. Some moms are like, oh, I would never do that. And so, where did you fall on that?
I fell in the opposite, to be honest with you. I did receive a lot of beautiful clothing, and my children did wear this beautiful clothing that was, that was twin-like. But I wanted them to have their own separate personalities, and I knew that they would have their own separate personalities even while they were in my belly. So I wanted to make sure that that was shown on the outside as well. So I did not dress them the same. I dressed my son, just the way we would dress a little boy, and my daughter as a little girl as well. Although my husband getting my daughter dressed was a little bit difficult. With the little bows in their hair, they didn't end up where they should. We let that go.
Oh my goodness, I can just picture
But no, I wanted them to have their own identities. I wanted them to be their own people. I have twins in my family, and I did see some sort of latent pattern where that was not always the case in my family. So I really wanted to stress that they were different people. And we didn't use the word twin very much, to be quite honest.
Really?
did not.
So you might have referred to them by name?
By the name or children or kids.
That's so interesting.
I actually have a friend who did not know my children were twins until they were probably 9
Get
10.
out! Because you never referred to them as twins.
That's correct.
That's fascinating. So something really to be thoughtful about as parents is, if you want them to be complete individuals rather than, connected or something.
Right.
That's really interesting.
They have their own bond, and that is their bond between them, and I don't have anything to do with that.
That sounds so special.
Yeah, and I've seen that, and I've seen it between them, both of them, as they've grown, and that is for them to do what they want to do with it, not for me to put that on them.
I had never actually thought about that, but that is so thoughtful. That's really cool.
Yeah, I really felt that they needed to have their own separateness, and some children want that togetherness and want people to know that, because it is special. I'm not saying that it's not special that they're twins and I had 2 children at once. It is, and it's a blessing.
Oh yeah.
But now that they're out in the world, and this is if you want to bring, if you want the twin status to be involved in your life, that's up to you guys.
Yeah, that is so interesting. Very cool. And so, to that extent, treating them as individuals, how did you deal with, those toddler years and fairness and, discipline, timeouts? Did you...
Just any behavioral issues, again, were structured as well. So they knew what to expect. And unfortunately, between my husband and I, there were some times that we made a decision, or I made a decision, and we needed to stick by those decisions as parents, taking some sort of toy away or something like that. But we dealt with behavior issues exactly the same. If it had to do with between their different sexes, male and female, we would deal with them a little bit different. But any behavioral issues were dealt with a timeout, and they knew what to expect, and they knew what was going to play along during their timeout and other behavioral issues to be able to correct them. So pretty much the same.
Yeah. Wow. And I think that that's probably helpful, because then it cuts down on some of the whining and the arguing and, well, how come she got to do this and
Right.
he got to do that? And, I mean, I'm sure you had your fair share of whining and arguing.
Yes. There's no doubt.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Wow. So, any other tips that you can think of that might help parents with twins out there in the survival, getting rest and dealing with the sanity of it all?
I think as you are pregnant and you're going to have the children, be prepared. Have everything you need on hand, so you're not going out, because you're not going to be able to get out with 2 kids right away. It's just not going to happen. Make sure you have enough diapers. Make sure you have enough formula if you need that. You're going to be on lockdown for a good 3 months, and so that's the first part of it. The second part of it is making sure to keep that routine down, and making sure that you treat them both pretty much the same when it comes to behavioral issues. And the last thing, and I think this doesn't have a lot to do with the kids themselves, but I think you need to, as parents and as the mother, get out of the house.
Ugh, could not agree with you more. I really couldn't.
Yep.
I mean,
Alone.
Without anybody. My husband used to say to me, for a stay-at-home mom, you really don't ever stay home.
Yeah.
And that was by design, because I literally would go insane.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was just my son and I, 3 months old, first child, and he was 3 months old, and I packed a picnic,
Mm-hmm.
and I went down, and I sat in front of the lake.
Great. Yes.
With my baby.
Yeah.
Because who does this? I'm having a picnic with a 3-month-old? Like, how ridiculous is that? But I just need to get out of the house.
Yes.
And that was the first of many adventures, because
Right.
I was like, I need to get out.
Yes.
And it's for the own sanity of, especially with twins. I can't, I know with just one baby, you're doing all of the things all day long, and you just need a moment to yourself. And I remember thinking the guilt of that. And I think that I could have and should have done more of that when my kids were babies and toddlers. And I actually have a video dedicated to that because it's really important that moms have, or dads have, a timeout. And it's not always about having like a scheduled date night. You know, sometimes it needs to be organic, because as soon as your husband walks in the house, you're going to be like, oh my God, I've had enough. I just need an hour. I'll be back.
That's exactly what it is. You can go sit in the parking lot at Marshall's.
Right, anything. Just to be in your own space, your own headspace.
That's what
without interruption, because you're not even going to go to the bathroom by yourself.
It's true.
And when you are talking about, stocking up, that's such great advice, so that you don't have to go out in an emergency.
Right.
One of the best gifts that I give at a baby shower is the extra baby aspirin. An adult aspirin, by the way, I always included aspirins for adults, or, Tylenol, ibuprofen, or whatever. And all of those extra things that you don't want to have to run out for in the emergency. Because in an emergency, when your baby's striking a fever, you want to have it hands-on.
That's right.
And I, hadn't even thought about shopping with two at the same age.
Right. I had one in the carrier, and then I had one in the carriage in the carrier, but one in like a little boppy thing.
Yep.
And I could only grocery shop so much. But yeah, it would take me about 20 minutes to get out of the car.
I could. So grocery shopping is a one-day event.
Yes, yes, it is.
And as I was listening to you, one of the things that sounds like would work for you, which I wish I had done, is nesting. Have you ever heard of that term? As a mom with newborns, you literally create a nest in your bed of all of the things that you're going to need for the entire day. Yep. So, like, on your bedside stand, you've got water, drinks, everything that you need, so that you literally don't even have to leave the bed if you don't want to with your newborn.
Right.
Everything that you have is just right there, so that you can spend time just resting when they rest, and feeding them, and, quick diaper change, right back in bed, and diaper change is like right there, back in bed, so that you're just really focusing on those basic needs and survival, really, especially with twins.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Then we get to stage 2.
Stage 2, school age years.
School age years, right?
We'll get to that.
Oh my God.
Are we good? Anything else we can think of?
No, I think I pretty much covered it. I really think those 3 things that I just mentioned are really important. And take care of yourself. When you take care of yourself, your children will see that. Even as toddlers, as young children, you'll notice that you're taking care of yourself, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to take care of them so they can take care of themselves. So let them see that you are taking care of yourself.
Beautiful way to end this. And I so appreciate you taking the time to do this. So thank you.
No problem. It's a beautiful day.
It is. So I hope you enjoyed our chat on the lake, and I hope that you did okay with some of the waves and some of the noises out there with the water lapping up against the boat. But I hope that you, more importantly, found some helpful tips to survive those baby and toddler years with your twins. I know that I learned quite a bit. And so if you found value in this video, along with any of our others, I hope that you have hit subscribe. You will not get any junk emails from me, but it will show support. Definitely follow us and hit like, share these videos with others who might learn, if you have a friend who has twins. Because as always, the more we share, the more we learn, the better parents we become. And if you have any helpful tips, because you have twins, definitely add your comments into the comment sections. You can go to heyparentsletschat.com, and that way we can be helping others at the same time. So until next time, thank you for joining us.